It's the just after 20 past 10 on the 23rd of January. Just on the way to the office. Foggy morning. Gym is done. So a couple of videos watched, listened to. Get some brain waves going. Get the thoughts. So I've been. I left the session last night in Navan and on the way to the AUL, and an idea came to me. Quick phone call to a long time business friend, probably going back now 15 years, and had a really good conversation. A couple of great ideas came off that conversation. And then with how to generate or develop the idea and kind of a new business opportunity. Then today, as I sat after the gym, got back in the car, listened to another video, and then more ideas from yesterday's opportunity came to mind, kind of generated again, and it takes me back really to yesterday when kind of discussed and chatted about college, the college sector here, and what's really gained from your 3 or your 4 years. And Kieran said to me yesterday, my mate said, it's not 3 or 4 years when you're in college is kind of where you grow up. He said that's where you mature, etc., etc. Yes, but I think it still has to be a benefit. You've got to gain something from those 3 or 4 years other than the piece of paper. You've got to generate something from that period of time in college other than pulling back out onto the road, other than the piece of paper, the degree, the certificate, the diploma, whatever it is that you get for your period of time. And I don't think there's enough chances taken by people. Like I read today, the talk of the pension age being 70, that we're so reliant on the government to provide that pension into your old age. I just don't understand why people can't take their life, their future into their own hands and say, no, I'm going to be responsible for what I have when I get to that age, and whatever I get in the pension, I get in the pension. That's fine, but it's not going to decide my future and my quality of life when I hit 70. And I think a big part of that is taking steps early to do what you want to do, to take a chance, to see there's a business opportunity work. I'm not saying everybody has to be self-employed. If everybody was self-employed, there'd be no direct workers working for people. So there's always a balance between people who want to be just a worker, people that are brilliant number twos, brilliant number threes, and then there's people that want to be the forefront, the CEO, the director, the owner of a company, but they have to have a particular skill set, and I don't think everybody's aware whether they have that skill set unless they take the chance. Now, not everybody's salesy. I think if you're going to run your own business, whatever it is in, there has to be an element of sales to that. Service industry, still sales. Product, still sales. Business to business, sales. Business to customer, sales. If it's gravestones, it's still sales. You're still selling to somebody. So no matter what it is, it's always going to be sales. And I know that my brother extremely well educated, both of them in fact. My sister, extremely smart businesswoman, and she'd be excellent at sales, but excellent at the processes. My younger brother, he's kind of a top finance manager now. He's in an excellent job, and he has done sales in the past, so he understands the process. My oldest brother started in sales with me back in sunglasses when I was 14 at the time. When I got my first job, lied on my CV. I said it was 15. Very quickly we told them, but I stayed on the job and absolutely loved the process of sales, loved the negotiation, loved the whole part that had to be played to get the rush of getting that sale, and then the add-ons. But my brother, I think he lasted 6 weeks. Hates sales, hates the whole thing to do with negotiating, trying to get somebody to take something or whatever. But as for a legal understanding, because he's a solicitor and has completed his New York bar, incredibly intelligent. But sales is not for him. So sales isn't for everybody, but I think there's sales in everything. So if you own a legal practice, if you don't sell yourself, you don't get clients. So no matter what it is, everybody requires a sales person, sales individual, sales strategy for their business. And college doesn't teach you that. It doesn't teach you how to sell. It doesn't teach you the negotiating tactics required. Yes, it teaches you business accounting. It teaches you kind of an overview of business, but not the nitty gritty, the crap that comes with a business, which I think is gained in opportunities when you go out and you try and run a business or be a number two, or go work in a smaller company. Learn a business from the bottom to the top very quickly. If you go into a big corporation, you will learn a role really well over a 2 or 3 year period, and may never step into the next line management position or the next part of the role unless you take a decision to move. So I always treated my early career in finance like a jigsaw. So I did cash, I did contact centers, so phone work, I did mortgage admin, I did insurance sales, I did mortgage sales. Then I went into savings and investment sales and I did all that. And then it crashed 2008. So I had a jigsaw of a financial career, which then led me into when I was in the fitness industry, I went into it purely to have a job. So when I went in there, I wasn't happy and content just doing sales. So then went sales manager. Identified an opportunity to eventually get to general manager and run your own club. So it's all about steps, and I think if you're in, the bigger the corporation, the harder it is to take them steps. Probably the more ass kissing you gotta do to get there. But in a smaller organization, a smaller business, a startup, a business that's really dealing business to B2C or B2B, people coming out of college have a massive opportunity to learn a huge amount, more than they did in the 4 years of college, I would say, in business, by getting a job in a small organization rather than a big one. A big one, I said, you'll learn that role, that administrative role, or that whatever role you're going to go into, you learn that really well for 12 or 18 or 24 months or 36 months, whatever you're going to be in that job for before you look for something else. But if you went to a smaller business, they would probably be more inclined to give you an opportunity to put into place some of the skills that you may have learned in college, but also you might be a little bit more relevant on the marketing, the advertising, the social media side of things than that business owner is fully aware of themselves. So there's better scope to do more. And I think this day and age, people need to take a chance and go into business, or find a collective of friends, their group, that says, you know what, we've got an idea, let's try it. Let's try and run with this. Let's try and make, mightn't take much money, might take a little bit of money each, but run with an idea. And if you need to have a crappy job, I don't want to name any sectors, but if you want to have just a standard job that's going to pay your living expenses, to do that on your 9 to 5, and then in the evening put all of your focus into your business. Like to this day, I still do my own website, I still do all my own social media accounts, I do everything to do with my business, with EI Sports, with EI Media X. Everything is just for Elite Irish Soccer Coach and for Elite Irish Speed for Sport Limited. For each business, I do everything. I do the website, and all of the contacts, reach out, answers. Every time somebody reaches in, it's me that answers back. And there is opportunities out there. I would love if somebody was involved in doing media in college and came to me and said, look, I would like to do this for EI Media X. I would like to take control of all of your videos, and I'm going to do an internship for the next 3 months, and after that put a value on what my services are. Brilliant, no problem. I want to do it for a month. Great, no problem. You want to make sure that in that month you deliver serious quality, but there is opportunities out there. Rather than emigrating, rather than just going into a big corporation and fitting into their structure. I think if people take control of what they want to do, their future, especially at a young age, take a chance. I know that in my early 20s, my God, I made some serious bad financial decisions, absolutely, Jesus. To this day, probably still paying for some of them. But I learned more in those early 20s of what not to do than what to do. And from learning what not to do, you quickly learn the things that you should do. And it's a great opportunity, I think, for people who are coming out of college, coming out of school, not really sure what they want to do. Take a load of chances and try and see, especially if you're at home. Because rent is so expensive these days. Living out of your family, your parents' home is much easier, and probably much more acceptable to be there at 28 now than it ever was before. So why not, in that period of time, in your early years, take a chance on business and try and start something, but within reason, be smart. Try and build a business that is sustainable, that you're passionate about, and not build it to sell it, but build it to have a business. And then from that, you can make some serious decisions on your future when you have tried other things. As against falling into the rat race and the standard, take that job, be in that corporation, take your 22,000 or your 24,000 a year, be content with that, and then maybe next year they might give you 26. 2 years later they might move you up to 28, and then you might get an opportunity to become a supervisor. And all the time you spend 4 years in that business, and then you've got to a supervisor, and then you might get to a manager's role, and you might get 32,000 or 34,000 at that point in time, when actually 5 or 6 years have gone by. You could have built something really sustainable that you were passionate about by having a go. And there's a saying that when you jump out, I've never done skydiving, but I absolutely want to do it. Unfortunately, I'm too heavy to do skydiving. I actually looked the other day, you got to be 240 pounds or less. So I'm about 60 pounds overweight, so I can't do skydiving yet, but that's on my bucket list of things that I want to do. Say when you jump out of a plane, the parachute doesn't open straight away. I know obviously you take control of when you open it yourself, but you never open the parachute straight away. You free fall for about 60 seconds. And running a business is just like that. But I think it's not 60 seconds. It's probably more you've 60 seconds before you hit the floor, and then your parachute decides to open. That's why business is. But that's an adrenaline rush. It's a brilliant environment to be in. And if you could take that leap of faith and have a go at something, if you got a little financial backer or a family member, someone that's going to help you, brilliant. That gives you a little bit of a start. But there's Enterprise Ireland and businesses out there and organisations out there that will help you. I never got any help from any of the organisations myself to start up, but I did get a very good backer at 2 different stages when we kind of were developing the first part of the business, and without them it would have been very, very difficult. Just a couple of thousand, but it makes a huge difference when you're taking that little step. But 18 months ago, when I jumped out of finance altogether to do this full time, that wasn't anybody else. That decision couldn't have been taken by anybody else. Danielle, my wife, didn't take that decision. I had a chat with her about it. She said, it's entirely up to you. She didn't take it. I took the decision to go, I'm going to leap. This is what I want to do. And I always know that if it doesn't work, I can always go back to the 9 to 5, the boring, the finance, and take the wage. Go back into the 40 grand a year job and go, yeah, that's grand. But satisfied? No. Next week I travel to the States for 5 days. Next month I'm in Rome for 3 days. And the month after that I'm in Miami for 4 or 5 days. And that's what I want to do, not sit and rely on a 9 to 5 and keep somebody else's business going. So all I can say is for those that are in college, those that are starting out, those that are 22, 23, 24, take a chance. Believe in yourself, have a go, because if it doesn't work, you can always jump back to something else.